techniques are just, it's sort of like braces on your teeth. You know, after a while, your teeth are in that shape, it's like the techniques get you, but you use them enough, they become part of your way of being.
Yes.
And that is the real key, because then it's not, I'm doing something. This way, you're a being in this way, and it goes deeper.
Today we have a conversation with Henri Furgiuele about Manifest Miracles, the newest workshop by Quantum Touch. And she is practitioner and instructor for all the workshops for Quantum Touch. And she's the chair of the Quantum Touch curriculum department. And with Miriam Hunter, she created and designed instructor and student manuals for all Quantum Touch professional workshops. And she's a Quantum Touch ambassador. Hi, Henri.
Hi, Gustavo. Thank you for this conversation.
Thank you very much for being here again.
Yes.
You've been teaching the Manifest Miracle for 2 years now, right?
Yes.
So things change. Of course, the first time you were teaching that, so you had some impressions, some experiences. So after 2 years, what is new and fresh? What are the insights you had with Manifest Miracles?
Well, when we first introduced the workshop back in, 2 years ago, November 11, 2020, it was a basic workshop. So it was on the same level as level 1, and we didn't require energy work as a requirement or a foundation. But after teaching the class for about a year, the 4 of us who were teaching the workshop, Miriam Hunter, Tyler Odysseus, and of course, Richard Gordon and myself. And in response to the students, we realized that most of the people here attending the class will benefit so much more if they already know quantum touch, so we don't have to teach them that skill in the class. So we completely changed the orientation. So we got right into manifesting right from day 1, whereas before there was a slower introduction. Quantum touch teaches you, gives you simple tools that profoundly change your ability to allow life into your life. And this class, like none other, I think, pulls it all together. It gives us the tools that integrate the energy understandings you can learn in level 1, level 2, self-created health, and supercharging. And it applies it holistically. In other words, it quantum touches your life, your reality, not just, oh, this shoulder hurts or this emotional wound. It lets you work 360. And for me, it's so exciting because if we can live this process, if we can use it in our daily life, then our daily life becomes hugely manifesting. And everyone around us benefits. So it is for us. In other words, it deepens our integration of what quantum touch teaches in the other classes and takes us a quantum leap ahead.
Yes,
as well.
that was my next question.
Oh, okay.
What is the particular thing that you would say it makes it special, different, and unique, a Manifest Miracles workshop?
I think that, well, Richard talks about what is a miracle, and a miracle in the quantum touch lens is something that something wonderful that happens that vastly beyond your expectation, beyond the logic, beyond what most people would say would be, quote, normal in a situation. And so we're looking to have more of these life enriching moments in our life, right? So what this class gives us are very clear messages and signals and techniques that show us how to get on that superhighway, so to speak. One of the things that I remember in my past, I would always think about the future through the lens of what had already happened, my history, you know, which is a bit like driving your car, looking through the rearview mirror. There's no way to drive your car. You don't reverse down, the freeway. So with this workshop, the manifesting techniques, working with how we manifest, what the future actually is, what reality actually is, and how we can entrain our energy to that, to the resonance of that future that we are wanting. That's what the workshop teaches us. And the results can be immediately transformative. They can build in time. And it can be abstract. Oh, I want to think about world peace instead of world wars, which are happening. It can be concrete. I manifested a car this year. I manifested at a price I could never have imagined. Once I start telling you stories, it's going to be hard for me to stop. So let me just stop with
That's
this.
what I want. I want at least
Okay.
stories today.
Oh, okay. Are we doing stories now? Okay. Well, and I'm not the only one that has stories. People that have attended the classes, one of our other Quantum Touch instructors, Thea Willette, has a very powerful story about how she and her family were looking for a certain kind of home for her family, and everything, logic, the realtors, the financial newspapers were telling her, oh no, this is not possible to have this kind of thing in this location for this amount of money, but she manifested it. I was looking for a car, and I was given in meditation what kind of car it would be. But those cars cost about $20,000 more than I planned to spend. And the next thing I know, on Craigslist, here shows up this car. And the minute I saw the ad, I knew this is the one. I called them. I had the car 2 days later. And it was just, things start to roll in that are what you anticipate and more and better.
Is this something that happened to you or somebody
Yes,
to you?
yes, the car.
But yes, but you live this, you're very deeply inside this process because you are a person who is bringing this energy to your daily life.
I think manifesting can sometimes be a carrot that people, oh, I'd really like this kind of life. I'd really like this kind of job. I would love this kind of relationship. Okay, so let me do these techniques so that I can bring that, resonate at that frequency and bring that into my life. That can be like a carrot that moves the horse forward. But what it actually does is it transforms how you live your life. It transforms not just about that one relationship you now have, or the new job, or the house, or the car. It's about how you look out in the world. And it's about how open your heart is and how you listen to your emotions or not. So in the process of using these techniques, more is happening under the surface that's going to truly shift you forward.
Yeah.
That, to me, is what's brilliant about the class.
Yeah, I understand that it is when Richard or you say it's a second nature. It is something like we all learn how to drive, but in the very beginning, some people are more comfortable than others, right? Some people don't feel that comfortable in the very beginning, but at the end, everyone ends up driving, and you don't think about that. So it is like that. I understand when you put this as a second nature, it is so natural as driving a car or drink some water. You're just living what I like to say, touch lifestyle, right?
Yes,
Really that,
exactly.
and you're not thinking about the technique you're using. You're just leaving this because it is natural. That's good.
I think techniques are just, it's sort of like braces on your teeth. You know, after a while, your teeth are in that shape, you know, it's like the techniques get you, but you use them enough, they become part of your way of being.
Yes.
And that is the real key, because then it's not, I'm doing something. This way, you're a being in this way, and it goes deeper.
Yes. I remember when I was learning about public speaking the first time when I was in the high school, there was a material, a guide, and I was studying that. It was my first time. And then they say, you need to you choose a subject and you start reading that and you put this into your life. And then during these weeks before the presentation, when you go there, it will be a conversation. And I took this so seriously that it was really a conversation. Until now, when I have to speak in public, it is a conversation. So I think it is this. We put contact touch in the life. It is just like we all breathe. And then we were talking before this conversation here, before this video, you were telling me like the breathing. If I start observing the breathing and put this in my life, or whatever I'm doing, it is the way to become a second nature.
Yes.
Right.
Because when I first learned the breathing techniques, I hated them. When as a student, I thought they sounded awful, and I will not do this with a client or anybody. It just, I'm not going to breathe like that. And then of course, you know, the side effect is you absorb everything if you don't use the breathing techniques. So I quickly respected them and really come to appreciate them. And that's just one small aspect. Another thing that makes this workshop, Manifesting Miracles, different is there's a lot of different law of attraction classes out there. And manifest this in 3 minutes, you can manifest, and seconds you can manifest. And yes, you can, but anything that has empowered through the breath, as quantum touch does, I think the effect is going to go deeper, and it's a more organic and more natural, authentic to the person.
Yes.
So,
I like this approach. I'll make efforts, not to make efforts, but I'll make a smooth effort
Yes.
to bring this to my life, as you say.
Yeah.
Yes. And Henri, what is the thing someone can think this workshop is about and what it is not? Like someone can have a misconception about this, what it is not, and what we can expect from that.
What it is not, it's not programming. I'm not, it's not pure affirmation. Oh, I am rich, I am rich, I am rich, I am rich. And your mind says, no, there's a hole in that carpet and the mosquitoes are coming in over there. You're not rich, you need help. So we don't lie to ourselves, and we don't lie to reality, but we don't look at reality with a negative lens. We see everything that comes in reality as a visible sign of something that is less visible. The landscape inside our heart or our mind or our spirit, however we identify that. All of these things reflect. And so with Manifesting Miracles, we are giving you tools that are fundamentally simple, but easy to access, to get you in a way to open the joy of this process. And the feeling is what drives it forward. The feeling of that joy and connection. And it is going to happen when you practice. And if there is belief, there are beliefs or resistances inside, we all have them somewhere. If those things come up and what we manifest in response to the practice is something you don't want, well, we also give you very benevolent ways to move you past that. In other words, unravel the knots so the tangles disappear. You are not ignoring the tangles. We're saying the tangles are here as a signal. It's the next thing you need to address before the manifestation can happen. And so this class really is kind, because it moves the participant into powerful steps that you can use, and it shows you, if you get stuck, how to get through that effectively. Everyone thinks, oh, manifesting future, oh, it has to be some lofty goal up there, like $1 million, or it will be a practice with X number of clients my first year. And okay, yes, that's possible, that's doable, but some of the techniques are using imagination, and some of them are more heart-based, and some of them actually are more concretely focused, because we all walk into the class from a different space. And so there's some techniques that we can hold between our hands, literally, and you can feel the difference as you work step by step in it. It feels different at the end of the process than the beginning. So I love the different range of approaches the different methods in this class offer. And I think that's helpful, because we don't always look at things one way.
Yes, so there are a lot of techniques inside this workshop. So you mentioned that some techniques are heart based. So are there techniques heart based without no imagination process?
I think the imagination, you have to have some idea of what it is you're wanting. I think it's hard to have a feeling without the feeling is part of that imaginative experience. We need a glass somewhere to hold the water, we all have imagination, but some of the techniques are stronger, leaning on imagination, others are not. So if somebody, oh, well, I can't imagine, I can't imagine what my room looks like painted in a different color. I can't do that. That's okay. Try this, play with it, and then try this other technique and see if that's more fun. And there will be something for everyone in there.
Yes, I understand. Yes, it makes sense what you say.
Well, just 2 weeks ago, I had something that I had physically been stuck with. I had not this is a very practical, tangible thing. A piece of furniture I couldn't move because the screws bolting it where it was were corroded, and they wouldn't move, they wouldn't saw. And suddenly, after doing the process, I just said, I'm just going to try to unscrew with my pliers one more time. And I've been trying for over 10 years to unscrew these bolts. They just opened up as if they were butter. So something as concrete as a piece of furniture that doesn't move, that you can't move because it's stuck, it just unstuck itself. That doesn't happen. That literally can't happen logically. So to me, that was a miracle, because I was thinking this furniture would be with me for the rest of my life. I was not happy about it. And so we were able to move it on. So that's it. People finding rings that were impossibly not there. I actually had a crystal that lost and suddenly reappeared 3 months later. And it was right there in the floor of my kitchen, right in front of me. And it's something I see every single day. And the crystal was not there, and then it suddenly appeared. So I don't know if this is making sense, but things that are not logical happen. Things that are impossible happen. And it's like, where did this come from? It wasn't there a minute ago. It literally was not there. Then it was. So futures manifest all the time, from parking spaces that suddenly appear on an impossibly crowded road to connections with people that you haven't seen in a long time. I went up on a plane last year and I sat down and the two people next to me looked up and I went, something familiar. This was one of my students 15 years ago. And we are now sitting on this very crowded plane. We just happened to be sitting right next to one another. So we had a delightful time sharing food and conversation, so things of this nature happen. And I almost don't want to give stories in a way because, oh, well, I don't need that. That's not interesting to me. The stories are in your life. What matters in your life is what's going to activate in your life. Whatever needs to happen will happen. It absolutely will.
What I hear from people about all of these workshops is that I heard this, I think, from you, actually, in another conversation, that what happens is not only manifesting if I have an objective, for example. It seems that the life runs in a different frequency. Everything is this manifesting is not like I want to manifest this, I want to manifest that, not necessarily, but having this time with your students, it was a manifestation, something really nice that happened, unexpected. So things unexpected and nice things, amazing things happen. It seems that the whole life go to another quantum leap, something like that. That's what I understand. I didn't attend this workshop yet, but that's this kind of conception I hear from whoever attended or teach this.
So, for example, with that piece of furniture I was talking about, I didn't sit down and do the technique to manifest clearing this furniture. It was just an annoyance, and I just kind of tried to not give it much focus. But suddenly to just get this spontaneous idea, it'll open right up. And I've tried this at least 30 times over 10 years to turn this bolt and screw and unscrew it, and it wouldn't. And it just came out and unscrewed. So this is, to me, what it's not an exciting example, but it's real life in your life example. Maybe it's something that makes it easier and for your pet or for your children, and just anything that smooths the friction, anything that opens up the flow. This class opens up the flow. That's what I find. And for people that already know quantum touch, it will blend seamlessly into your context of what you already know and practice. And if for those who are new to this idea, it's going to guide you into a new way of looking at the world and at yourself and your life.
I want to ask you something, but I think, again, you answered my question.
Did I? Okay.
My question is, why you would recommend this workshop?
I just did answer it, didn't I? Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Because the energy and essence of this class is the energy and essence of life. And if you are resonating at this vibration, anything that you give your attention to, that opens your heart to, and you can process and practice with this, you don't have to spend all day doing a technique. It just becomes part of your frequency. The entrainment happens. Your inner healer begins to line your life up in alignment with these joys, with these experiences that give you well-being.
There is, on this book, Hawking the Law of Attraction, there is this concept of dark miracle. Can you please tell us about that? It is a different term, and it is interesting. I'd like you to explain this
I actually love this term a lot, because it's looking at life the way quantum touch looks at the body, the human body, and the distresses and diseases in the body. There are many healing systems that look at, oh, this is not functioning. Oh, well, it's a bad shoulder, or it's a pathological dysfunction here. In other words, there's a negative lens, a half empty glass, when we look at this situation. Quantum touch doesn't see the body that way. They see the body has the ability to be strong and healthy and vibrant, and to give symptoms of distress and dysfunction and disease. And all of it is communication from the inner healer. So when we look at dark miracles, this is just like how we look at the disease, distress, dysfunction. And these could be some of the dark miracles. They're things that happen unexpectedly that have an intensity to them, the catastrophes or the tragedies. And they're not fun to go through. In fact, they're very often deeply distressing to go through. Someone losing a family member, or someone having a, in a war situation, or a famine, or a hurricane, typhoon, earthquake situation. Those are not things to laugh at. But by the same token, they are given to move us forward in some way. And we talk about this with much more depth in the workshops, and they are there to open us up in some way, to provide a needed shift. No one wants to go through them, and they are very painful, but we don't really see the value of them until we've gone through them and have come out the other end, and then we can look back and say, oh, without that, I would still be doing this, or they shape us in profound ways. We believe dark miracles are from our inner healer as well. They are difficult experiences, but when we can get through them, and we may need time and support and energy to do that, but when we can get through them and come out the other side, something will grow from that we can't imagine at the moment it happens. Truly.
Yes.
So we work with this
Yes, that's
in the
interesting,
workshop.
because I believe a lot of people already heard that in a unfortunate situation, there is something good that comes from that. But when the unfortunate situation happens to us, not always we are patient enough to just accept. But lately, I've been observing, what we consider unfortunate, undesirable things, and when we try to put actively accepting this, it seems this exercise of being patient brings a reward sometimes. And perhaps the reward is just observing the process and going through that more stable emotionally. This is already a reward.
Yes. I think, first of all, if someone is experiencing a dark miracle, the last thing you want to say to them is, oh, this is going to be good for you. Don't ever,
Yes.
whoever's listening to this, please don't ever do that. Because that's not helpful.
Yes.
It's not helpful. Support them offer them energy if they would like it. That might be helpful. Offer them support in other ways. That might be helpful. Let you know what would be helpful. But we need our own space and time to move through these circumstances. And we need time to digest our emotions. We need time to process if there's grief. We need time to digest the changes that come up as an effect. And of course, energy, offering quantum touch and doing quantum touch on yourself where you feel the effect of those changes. That's a powerful way to support yourself and move yourself through more humanely.
Yes.
But again, we approach this with much more depth in the workshops so that it doesn't sound quite as callous as perhaps we're talking. But we can't, just accept it. Acceptance, I think you have to experience it.
Yes.
And then the acceptance may come after that, but we can't try acceptance. We have to experience first.
Yes. Yes. And so you talk about the workshops. You offer all the other workshops. So how is Manifest Miracle on your schedule?
I do have one scheduled. Actually, we're going to put another one on pretty soon. I have one, I think, in May, that is on the Quantum Touch website, and it's actually for Japanese audience, but I'm teaching it in English with Japanese interpretation. So anyone who would like to attend in that time zone, and you can look that up on the website, it'll show you. You're welcome.
Okay, so I'll
It's
put all
it's a 12-hour workshop broken up into 4 separate meetings. So,
and all the information I'll put on the description of the video.
yes.
Your link for your website.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
So what is your final message to whoever is watching this, regardless if the person is already a practitioner, instructor, or just someone who is interested about this and is not familiar with quantum touch?
I would say your first step would be to, if you can, attend a live level 1 workshop, quantum touch workshop, because that will give you the foundation tools, and it will also show you how you can run energy in yourself. And when you're manifesting being able to run energy in yourself to clear whatever you're feeling, you wake up in a bad mood or you wake up in pain or whatever, that's a nice thing. That's a nice tool to have. Now, after you've had level 1, then I would say, if manifesting is where you feel drawn to go, then you can take that, or you can take the other workshops we have and save this for last, because this workshop does pull it all together. But you can, I would say, listen to your own heart. You will know which workshop to take next. But definitely put this on your list.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much for your time again.
Thank you, Gustavo.
I really appreciate it, and looking forward to seeing you again here.
Thank you so much.
Another conversation.
Thanks so much. Looking forward to seeing everyone in workshops.
Thank you.